So my air hose the other day blew a hole. See it right there? So it's leaking somewhere. I don't know if it's leaking on this side, or right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this section out. Now I put a splice kit in here. It is close to the end, and some people would probably say, why not just put a new end coupler on here? But then it won't reach to where I need it to plug into my air compressor. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing, I need to cut these pieces off. So I'm just going to cut this part off right here. Unfortunately, since it's in such a bad spot, it makes it hard to cut. Goal is to try to get a nice, somewhat clean cut across there, which is not the best, but hopefully it'll do. And I'm going to do the same on this one. I'm just going to cut this out. This will actually be a little easier because I don't have to worry about that hose being in the bind. So I've got this splice kit from, this is just a quick dirty fix. Comes with several hose clamps, a barbed insert that you basically shove in there as far as you can.
That's what she said.
Put the other hose clamp on. Make sure I get the hose clamps facing the same way because I like it facing the same way. And just wedge that in there like that. Now, ideally I would say this is not exactly the best way of doing this because these hose clamps can get in your way. They can snag, scratch stuff, but this is a semi-permanent hose that does not move. So it's kind of out of the way, and I'm trying to minimize the amount of length I can take out of it because as it is, it's stretched pretty far to where I need the other end. So this shouldn't be a bother, but what you could do also, I'll show you how you can kind of hide this a little better, but I'm going to make sure I get this tightened down first and that the leak is indeed in the section I cut out and not like into here or another area. So now what we'll do is we'll just tighten this clamp up here on this fitting. So I just want to tighten this up, tighten this hose clamp up so it's nice and snug. We'll do that with the other one, and I like to keep my ends somewhat aligned. That is pretty much it. I'm going to hook this into my air compressor and make sure it holds air and doesn't pop another seam. And then I'll show you the trick to kind of hide this so it's not as snaggy. So right now I've got it hooked up to my air tank, not to my air compressor. This line that I just repaired goes over to my fittings where I actually swap in and out power tools or a hose extension. This right here is the hose extension that plugs in over by my miter saw that I normally plug this guy into. The other line that you see right here, it goes up to my auxiliary air tank and then my air compressor right there. So right now it is holding air. It's not popping, so I think we're good. Maybe that hose just got weak right in that area, but like I said, I want to minimally cut out anything right there that I can. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you that other trick now to kind of conceal that rough area right there because you don't want that to snag on anything. But for me, like I said, since it's just an extension from my air compressors and auxiliary tank to my wall regulator, it's not that big of a deal for me to have that. But so let's get that taken care of. So what I'm going to do to conceal this is simply take a plastic bag. I'm just going to start wrapping it around this. Kind of a protective sheathing band. Like that. And I'm going to reach possibly as far as I can to get my electrical tape. And then what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to do the same thing. Just start wrapping this around the back. The bag will help smooth out the hose clamps so they're not as sharp. Now they do make a hose splice kit. I'll link that down in the description below, and I'll also link this. But that allows me to get this hose back up and running again. I can connect it right in. It's not going to snag on anything, it's somewhat protected for the time being. If this hose was longer, I just put a hose splice kit and put an end terminator right here and got rid of this extra section, but because I need this 1 foot, that's not an option for me, so we'll just leave it like this, and we're pretty much good to go and back in operation again. Future Sean here. As you can see, I replaced all the hosing with hard copper line.